morning students, welcome to today's class. Today we are moving to the part of politics, chapter 8, rural livelihoods. In village, how the people are living or how they are getting their money for livelihoods, that we are discussing. In our textbook there is an example of Kalpadu village, that is in sea coast in Tamil Nadu, and most of the people are depending in agriculture. They are working in the field of others, and some weavers, potters, businessmen and cycle repair, those people also living in that village. And here we are looking to example of laborers, that is Tulsi and Shekhar. Tulsi is a daily wage worker in the Ramalingam's farm, and Shekhar also is in debt with Ramalingam, that means he is having small land, that means around 2 acres of land he is having for Shekhar, and he is taking loan from Ramalingams, and while harvesting time he want to return that money to Ramalingam. Ramalingam is having around 20 acres of land, and he is having shop and rice mill also, and their life and how they earn their living or daily earnings, those things we are discussing in this chapter. In our textbook there is a story of Aruna and Verivelan. They are living in the coastal area, and their main occupation is fishing, and they are using their own small boat, catamaran, and they used this boat to go to sea and fishing. And in monsoon season they cannot go for fishing, and on that time they are getting money from the traders, and they are when they go for fishing they are forced to sell their fish to that trader to maintain their loan. Like that, their story, that is difficult in their livelihoods, and they are in debt with the trader, and they cannot get more, they cannot do more auction in the city, and they are forced to sell their fish to the trader to get rid of from their loan. That thing's also the story in our textbook.
Rural livelihood. Hello students. So far we have understood that a major section of Indian population thrives in villages and maintain their fulfilled lives there. We have also established that the major profession of rural region is agriculture. But as all economies, only one sustained profession is never enough to run a society. Today, we will understand different professions followed by rural people based on their needs and sometimes geographical situation. For better understanding, we will study lives of rural origin with the help of certain examples. Let us proceed by studying about Kalpattu village in Tamil Nadu, which is a sea-facing region. Same as the rest of communities, this village has non-farm workers. There are people who provide services such as blacksmith, nurses, washerman, weavers, barbers, cycle repair mechanic, etc. There are also people who prepare snacks and own eateries, while there are schools, vocational training centers equipped with teachers and staff. There are lots of other professions as well. Let us study about few in detail. Tulsi. We will study lives of people. Let's begin with Tulsi, who is a paddy field worker, labor. She works in paddy villages and is called to transplant paddy, to remove weeds, and finally for harvesting. She comes to this region for regular work, and during off-season, she does odd jobs like spraying pesticides, collecting or depositing sand and stones for construction work. As you have understood, People who are landless and poor in a village generally have to work as laborers for others and occasionally have to travel from one place to another in search of odd jobs. Sekar. Now let us look at life of Sekar, who is a farmer who owns very small area of land, often due to environmental factors or economic difficulties. Such farmers have to take loans. In recent years, many such farmers have been noticed to be in debt, partly because of economic changes happening at fast pace and partly because of varied environmental responses.
Rural livelihood. Agriculture is the main occupation in rural India. About 70% of the population live in villages and are dependent upon agriculture for their livelihood. Agriculture influences almost every sphere of life in rural areas. Farmers. In rural areas, the earnings of farmers depend on the crops that they grow. People who work on farms involve themselves in activities like preparing land, sowing, weeding and harvesting the crops. Their farming depends upon the monsoon. Mainly paddy, cotton, sugarcane, mango and coconut trees are grown in agricultural fields. Apart from farming, people from the rural areas earn their living by doing non-farm work and some people provide services to others. Laborers. People in the villages who are landless have to earn their living by working as laborers on the bigger farms. They earn a daily wage or get wheat, rice or other types of crops for their wages. Truck drivers, loaders, construction workers and people who make utensils, bricks, basket, pots, bullock carts etc. come under the category of non-farm work. Other source of livelihood. People from rural areas sell rice, tendu leaves, wheat, honey, milk and dairy products, fish, animal husbandry etc. in the market for some extra money to serve their families. Income is also earned by providing services like teaching, cutting hair, washing clothes, weaving, nursing, selling items etc. On being in debt. In rural areas, farmers are not able to earn money throughout the year. They have to travel from place to place in search of work every season. They borrow money from lenders for their basic needs. When they are unable to pay it back, the farmer goes into debt.
In this chapter, we have seen about the life of the people in the village in Tamil Nadu, Kalpattu village. There's example of that village, and we have seen the Tulsi. She's a daily wage worker in the Ramlinga's farm, and Shankar also he is having a small acres of land, and Ramalingam is a big farmer, and he is having seed shop and rice mills also, and terrace farming in Nagaland they are doing. hilly area, they are doing the terrace farming in Nagaland. And Aruna and Parivel, they are fishing. Their main occupation is fishing, and their daily life, and they are faced by the tsunami on the last year, and in monsoon season they are not ready to, they cannot go to sea for fishing. Those things, the life of the people in the rural villages. Read the textbook carefully, note down the question answers in your notebook.